So now the whole big thing is obviously Trump saying that we should delay the election, right? And how, because of the whole mail-in ballot and how that can, lead to a lot of fraud and all of this stuff, right? But what we also have seen, well, first of all, if the virus is as bad as people are saying it is, as we are being told, then we really should not be having in-person elections, right? Like we can all agree that if that is what the narrative is, then it's not safe to do that, right? Because there's no way that we would be able to keep people 6 feet apart and
Right.
masks and all the senior citizens that they are the ones who usually at the polling stations, all this kind of stuff, whatever.
Which is a hard argument to make because of the Dems pushing in-person voting for the primary.
Right, but it can be argued that back then we didn't really know as much, and now we know that definitely. I mean,
I
I'm just
agree.
saying.
No, I agree. Well, my opinion is it was
Yeah, yeah.
wrong then, and it
Yeah,
would be
yeah, yeah,
wrong
for
now.
sure, for sure, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
And then you have the whole mail-in voter thing, which it has problems in itself, and mostly the fact that it would take so long to get the results,
Well,
and we're already at the point where no one's going to believe the results. It doesn't
that's
matter
right.
what happens, no one's going to believe anything. And then on top of that, you add the fact that you don't get the results that same night.
Right.
I
That
feel
would
like that's just going to
that
be
would drive me insane. But also, you heard about the situation in New York where they did a mail-in ballot election, and 20% of the ballots were thrown out for
right.
technicalities. Many of them not technicalities that were the fault of the voter. It was handling of the ballot. That's not acceptable.
Right.
And that's
And
in
you
New
also have
York.
that mail-in starts, I think
Yeah.
in some states it starts before even the first debate.
Right. Yeah, I heard it was coming right up. Yeah.
Well, I mailed in my ballot application for Massachusetts. I have not
Oh,
received
did you?
my
Okay.
ballot yet. I did finally receive the
Oh.
application, so I assume they're just kind of holding them, and we'll
Yeah.
mail them out a couple weeks before the primary on September
Yeah.
1st. But keep
Yeah.
my fingers crossed.
So a friend of mine actually will work the polls, and he says that you'll have like a fairly, especially with the older population, you'll have a fairly heavy amount of people that mark the ballot wrong and you need to void that ballot and give them another one anyway. That's not possible with a mail-in
Right.
ballot. So right off the bat, you're talking maybe, I don't know, maybe only 5% or something, but that's still significant when we're trying to get everyone to vote, right? We're trying to get everybody able to vote.
I think though it will help the Democrats, or it'll help the left in general, because people who have to work or whatever reason. I mean, traditionally it's always like the older people who vote no matter what, right? And so people who are, if you have
Yeah.
kids and don't have daycare that day or whatever happens, you can't make it out to the polling place. At least with a mail-in ballot, it's going to be easier. So I think that's obviously why the Republicans are fighting against it. And Trump, appointed a new new postmaster general, political hack who worked in his campaign, who just announced that there will be no overtime for postal workers, and this will obviously have a detrimental effect on, when you have millions of mail-in ballots, right, that have to get in on time. It's going to be an issue. So I mean, there's a lot of politics around it.
Some days you just feel like we are the banana republic of the world, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just like it's horrific, all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
Well, that's if we even have an election, guys.
That's if we even have an election. Yeah.
That's a big stipulation that previously, so if like 2019 Daisy would have told 2020 Daisy that we were going to end up maybe not even having an election, I would have thought that was crazy. But
I mean, the latest thing Trump has said, he's backed off on the idea that he would delay. He says, "Oh no, I want to go on. I want to get on with it. I want to have the election."
Well, yeah, because he can't. Him coming out and saying, like, remember even that tweet that he sent out about delaying the the elections when I think it was either that same day or maybe the next day in Hong Kong, they delayed the elections for that,
Uh,
right? For that same reason, because of everything that's going on with coronavirus. So, you know, like him, that's what I was saying earlier, that it is supposedly logical for him to have this train of thought. And if I'm not mistaken, that same day, that morning that he sent that tweet out, it was the morning that Herman Cain had passed away, right? And Herman Cain, it was he was being used as this propaganda tool because you could not see a headline that didn't say Herman Cain dies from COVID-19 or coronavirus. And then somewhere in there, somewhere in the article, they have to put that he went to the Trump rally,
right.
like 6 weeks ago or whatever. And he kept talking about how we shouldn't be wearing masks. So this poor man, and I'm not talking about his politics or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, this man's death has just been totally used for propaganda.
Right. Well, John Lewis a little bit too.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Making passionate political speeches during a, a funeral service when a lot of people have rightly said, I couldn't have a funeral service for my loved one. I wasn't allowed to because of COVID.
Yeah.
Kind of
Um,
horrific.